If you have a hankering for the classic RPGs of the SNES era combined with a vibrant modern energy, then you need to check out My Familiar, the upcoming turn-based buddy cop RPG from developer Chintzy Inc. Things kick off when you're isekai'd from Texas into the strange streets of Wish City, where the townsfolk are monsters, corruption is king, and most importantly, you can see a buff duck punch a gangster sheep, which sounds like a secret code for something illegal. Explore the gorgeous pixel art world while you fight, flee, and aggressively wrap your way through dysfunctional demons in flashy, over-the-top turn-based battles, all set to the dulcet tones of an excellent soundtrack. Head on over to My Familiar Steam page, wishlist the game, and get your hands on the demo today. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Firelink Podcast, episode number 16 for Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. My name is Marty. As always, I'm joined by Casey Wosu, Nick Calandra, and our producer Eric behind the wheels of steel. Guys, we just have the best show for you. I'm going to be honest. Sometimes the show is bad, but this one is good, which is a thing I've said a lot, which means it holds no weight.
Everything good is nothing.
Sometimes Marty just be talking.
It is a hollow statement. We have a couple news bits. One about the game content warning, which just blew up over the over April Fools, and sort of its interesting way to release. Two, an exciting picture that was taken at a Japanese restaurant. And then three, and most importantly, our main topic is sort of cobbling together a handful of separate topics about how it feels like the game funding gold rush is drying up. And this includes stuff like Game Pass, stuff like free games on Epic, taking a look at some data of games that were played in 2023, and just sort of the overall sort of the temperature of the water right now, if you are out there needing money to make your video game, whether your team is small or whether your team is large. So a lot of meat on that bone.
We're missing the most important news bit.
I would love to hear it, Nick. Please tell me.
The Stellar Blade butt.
Yeah, we're also missing the Stellar Blade butt. Do you have any butt thoughts? I played the demo, and you know what? I thought the game was kind of boring. I thought the game was kind of boring, and I thought her hair was too long, but luckily you can go to the menu and you could choose short hair. And she has shorter, I wouldn't say
nice.
short hair, but it's just less hair. Did either of you guys play the Stellar Blade demo?
I have not yet.
No, I've
Yeah.
I've not seen anything that really interests me about that game. So yeah, it's kind of been not.
Casey, I want you to play it specifically. Its combat is, I don't want to say I mean, it's like a heavy parry based combat system, which I know you are a big fan of. I would say, yeah, to me, aesthetically and story wise, it feels like Diet Nier, and then combat wise, it feels like Diet Sekiro. And I'm just kind of like, what if I just either have regular Nier or regular Sekiro and not worry about this? But we'll see when the game comes out later this month.
Okay, yeah, I will give it a try.
Yeah, a lot of people are upset about that butt though, or like not upset about the butt, or just talking about the butt.
I mean,
you guys have butts?
Yeah, like butts are great. You know, like everyone. I'm generally pro butt, but
yeah.
No, I didn't mean that second butt. But I've been seeing some of this discourse going back and forth about just attractiveness of game characters and like what makes a game character attractive. Like, how do you sell attractiveness for a game character? And I think a lot of points are being made on both sides in regards to what people kind of just want as a protagonist. Because I can be bougie like that as well. Like, I like video game characters that are like aesthetically pleasing. Like, I like cool or cutesy characters versus like kind of gremlin-y. Like, I thought it was wild that they made Schmeagol the main character of a video game. I'm like, who wants to play as this thing? So I get it, right? I get it. But then there's the people who are just gross about it. And like, clearly that's just, no one is on that side. On the side of like, I want to be gross about a thing. Therefore, these are my talking points. Like, no, just shut the hell up at that point.
Yeah. It's, and also, apologies. Apparently Nick might have lost his power. Ironic, isn't it? But we'll be fine because you know what? We're the ones with butt thoughts. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, Nick doesn't
would
like
have been
butt.
so offended by butt thoughts that he was like, "Oh, good heavens!" He just left.
Nick vehemently
Just left the
anti-butt.
show. Yeah,
We were
I
just
just
talking
want my
about it before
characters
we went live.
to look like I don't know. I don't need my character to be attractive. I just need to be like, yeah, that looks like the character I should be playing in this world. And
Like they
sometimes
fit the universe, you mean?
yeah, and sometimes it's the very scantily clad androids of Nier. Other times it's a little gremlin like Gollum. I'm not gonna say that Gollum was good, but I'm gonna say if I'm playing a game about a little gremlin crawling through the muck, he should look like Gollum.
I mean, you have to do a lot of extra work, right? If you're gonna make something like that work, because like, yeah, I agree. Like, yeah, you can't have like just a real handsome monster crawling through whatever the sewers of Mordor are.
Just constantly like his muscles glistening in the mud.
Yeah, like, God damn it, this Smeagol's sexy. Yeah, that's not gonna make any sense.
I'll just turn the internet into like a weird little cesspool. And before we hop into our news bits and Nick gets settled back in, really quick, thank you to everyone who supports us on all of our various avenues of support. Whether that is on Patreon, whether you're a member on YouTube, a member on Twitch, whether you were one of the folks who helped contribute $200,000 to the Kickstarter for Adventures Nigh Across with Red Dragon Inn. That was amazing. And you can check out an actual detailed breakdown of our Q1 fiscal report that Nick tweeted out, posted in the Discord, sent out to the Patreon. We're pretty open with the money we get and what we do with it and where it goes. And some of us are pretty open with what we do when we get our paychecks, which is me, and which is buy things because I'm sad. I'm pretty open with that part of it. And then underscore, thank you so much for joining the Green Gang over in YouTube, and Eric with the arses. Who will get the disconnect record, me or Nick? I mean, I've also disconnected a handful of times.
So
I feel like Casey's is the safest. You're probably the least disconnecty.
Yeah, I only really get the connection issues when I'm hosting for some reason, but
Yeah.
lately it's been fine.
The infrastructure where I live is so good that the wind just knocks out my power over and over and over again. And for whatever fucking reason, it happens every time I'm editing video.
That's the
And so like I'm saving.
Is that shit like autosave?
Yeah, it autosaves often enough, but not often enough that I feel comfortable about it. So like on any windy day, I just sit there and click Control S. I make like one little change, Control S, Control S, Control S.
Throwing a curveball. What is the most progress you've ever lost? I guess not on a video, on a game.
I lost my 36 hours in Lords of the Fallen.
Oh yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah,
recent.
I forgot about that. And you still like the game?
Yeah, I still replayed it. That's
Like,
why it was my game of the year. I went back and replayed the whole thing and had a great time.
Yeah,
That never happens for me. Usually, if that happens to me, I'm like, no.
what was yours, Casey? Have you read it like a nightmare?
Do you remember the wrestling game No Mercy on N64?
Yeah, it was great.
That thing had a weird bug where it would just wipe its save data all the time. 3 different times I beat the entire career mode, made all these custom wrestlers, and like set up all these intros and stuff that I wanted. And the game
lost
was
your custom wrestlers and unlockable
3
wrestlers
times.
and shit. Oh my
3
God.
times. I did it 3 times because we played that game so much. After the 3rd time, I stopped playing it forever.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That being said, WrestleMania is this weekend.
Yeah, I'm done. I stopped watching wrestling entirely after that.
That killed WrestleMania for you forever. I don't watch wrestling.
So it was probably around that time, but yeah.
I tuned in for WrestleMania. The Rock is so mean now. It is great. He's so rude. He is so rude.
He was always that way when he was in
he's way ruder. Well, he wasn't rude when he was in films like The Tooth Fairy and Black Adam. I want someone to make fun of him on mic for Black Adam. Like he's in this, he's got beef with these guys. And I'm like, why don't they call him Black Adam? Like that would make him so mad.
That might be touchy, yeah. But I think he's owning it. I really do love The Rock. I think he went back to his roots in order to reset that whole image because like it was kind of in the toilet after Black Adam.
No, he's been great.
Yeah, it keeps telling me to get a UPS, but this didn't happen last year, so I think maybe a storm like knocked a branch into a power line somewhere. When it gets windy.
What have the branches ever done to you?
They're everywhere.
They are everywhere.
I have a big willow tree in my neighbor's backyard that just constantly breaks off.
I have a big willy, and I'm like, all right. Brag about it.
That too, but no, the big willow tree just every time there's a storm just breaks off branches in my yard, and then my dogs run around and make mess with them.
Yeah, that must be great for them. They're stoked. Yeah, I had to shovel like 8 inches of snow today. Let me tell you, not great. Not great. I don't know why people settle down in this
You
hellhole of America.
had snow.
Yeah, fucking 8 inches. It was heavy. It was like
What?
heart attack snow.
Oh.
Big old wet snows.
Isn't that just rain?
No, but it's like wet snow. It's like snow. It was like started. It's like it started off as snow, and then it got warmer by the time it hit the ground, and it was in like the mid anamorph state. You know how the anamorphs go from man to beast? It's like if snow to water. It's mid anamorph.
Did
I had
create snow angels in it.
I did not.
Okay,
No.
well, you're boring then.
I'm 38 years old.
Yeah,
show you my
38 years
Amiibo,
old, buys
including-
amiibos.
Oh, happy birthday, Marty.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. And then my really quick, I had a third party PlayStation 1 memory card, and let me tell you, that motherfucker would just be like, nope, forgot about everything.
Yeah, across the board, third-party memory cards could not be trusted.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it didn't matter
absolutely.
what console it was for.
And
they were
I
trash.
get my parents, like, I think they got it for me for Christmas, and because it was they probably got upsold by like the person at the store who was like, look at this one can hold 1 million games as opposed to the other one. And so that was a bummer, but I was young and I had infinite free time, so it didn't matter to me. And it's not actually my birthday yet. I appreciate the HBDs though. I do. Jewel Rao with a €5 dono. Thank you so much. I wish I had more time for gaming. You guys deserve every cent from me, and the podcast distracts me from work, which is always a plus. Wah, wah, wah. Peach?
Thank you.
A peach running? Peach fart? Blown a kiss?
That looks like a fart.
Yeah, I think that's a fart. Yeah.
Thank you, Jewel. We appreciate the fart. That's very sweet of you. And then Smiesk Audio with the $2 dono. Thank you so much for an uninterruptible power supply. That's what UPS is. When Nick said UPS, I was thinking like the post office.
Yeah,
I
United
knew,
Postal
I knew you were
Service,
gonna. Yeah, they just come and deliver me power.
I don't know. If
That'd
you
be
say
dope.
UPS,
I'd pay for that.
90%
He
of the
sits
people
out
in
of
America
his-
will think of that.
He sits down in his car and just revs it to power up my house.
I don't know how that shit goes.
Not a bad idea.
I don't know if that's how fiber internet works. Nick, I'm glad you're back because there's no way we could have done this segment without you because we're
Probably
debuting
not.
a new segment today, and it's called
Yeah.
What They Up To. And if we ever see a picture of a couple folks hanging out and we want to know what they were talking about, this is going to be our new segment where we debut the picture. And the picture in question was Sakurai, the famed developer behind the Smash series, Yoshida, the famed developer behind the beloved Final Fantasy games, and Harada-san, the famed developer behind the Tekken games. They're all hanging out at a big old dinner. They ate for 5 hours, apparently, according to Eric.
Where's this picture, Eric? What are you doing,
No,
producer man?
I just put it on the thing. Yeah, Eric, you could put the picture of the men. It's just 3 Japanese men in a restaurant. If I'm being honest.
But it's one of the most risque things we've ever shown on this show.
Yeah. What are they talking about? What do you think they're
I
talking
have
about?
some theories.
Okay, I'd like to hear it.
Because I was trying to see where the Venn diagram crosses over for these guys. Because
Sure.
they're all video game developers and Japanese, but like there's a lot of other people who could be at this table, right?
This is true.
But what particularly about these 3 guys? So clearly, Harada, Sakurai, currently in the fighting sphere,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So Yoshida's like, how does he fit in here? Apparently, I was looking him up, and he was instrumental to the balancing of Street Fighter EX in that he went to play the game in its early stages because he was already like in the game dev. He went to play the game in its early stages and destroyed everyone on the dev team with Zangief to the point that they nerfed Zangief when the final game came out.
Incredible.
So I feel like this is fighting game related, and I'm wondering if, in particular, it's the next the next big Square Enix thing is going to be a final game,
Okay.
and Yoshida's basically going to be part of
Could
it.
be cool. That could be cool. I could get behind that because they've dabbled in that. We had Air Guys back in the past.
Mhm.
We had the Dissidia games, but which were kind of more like arena brawlers almost. But man, could you imagine them going? And then what's that? Sakurai's just there to be like, which of these men can I put into my Smash Brothers?
I have a more
You got them all
realistic
already.
and
Yeah.
less conspiracy answer.
Let's hear it.
They are discussing why I am Kojima's best friend, and they are not.
Yes, you're a coach. We know all about your best friends across the industry. Dude. What if Kojima was the one who took the picture?
Then he's like, "Why am I hanging out with these guys and not Nick?"
He has developed a new technology though, where he can take a picture with a photo and it sucks their souls in. His soul sucking machine is
It's
now
mobile
pocket
now.
sized.
Oh,
It's
shit.
mobile.
This is
I mean,
dangerous.
who is taking them? There is no shadow on the wall.
It's probably just a waiter.
Yeah, it's like the flag on the moon is not waving. What's going on?
I think it's
Or it is waving?
the baby from Death
Yeah.
Stranding, just spirit taking.
I thought you meant the rapper.
Yeah, and Angel, baby, and Angel Nickel. Good point, Casey. We were talking about this. Maybe they're talking about bringing Waffle House.
Yes.
Harada, the Tekken guy, Harada on Twitter is great because he just responds to people in like a very genuine way. And someone was like, Harada, son, please put Waffle House in as a arena in Tekken. Waffle House, the famous American chain diner, which oftentimes is open like 24 hours or late in the night and gets fights. And his response was like, so many people have asked me that and I don't understand. Please tell me why you want this in Tekken. And people explained it to him. And he was like, that sounds good, but it sounds like something that would need to be legally cleared with the Waffle House. And that I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. And everyone's like, Waffle House, give him the go ahead. Like, let him put it in the game. Because that does seem like really good. Like maybe that's
marketing.
like
Is it free like I've never like the Waffle House joke is hilarious because it's kind of just true.
Yeah.
But like has the Waffle House proper ever actually kind of are they aware? Like do they try to shy away from that stigma of it's just a place for midnight brawls?
Because I feel like if they leaned into it, that would open themselves up to a lawsuit. Like if they ever leaned
like they're
into it and
encouraging,
poked fun about it, then during a fight, someone would be like, "Look what your company did! You created a fight club." Yeah, I mean they could. Well, okay, so the real answer is what they talk about is they've been colleagues in the same industry in the same city for a very long time. So that is ultimately they're just buds.
Now I'm thinking Square Enix's big fighting game will just be a Waffle House fighting game.
But what is Sakurai doing there? They gotta. Do you think they talked about New Smash at some point, right? You think that got brought up? You don't think they talked?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they would have talked about New Smash, but they definitely would have talked about current Smash.
Do you think they talked about multiverses at all?
No, I don't think they. I don't think they brought it up at all.
You don't think it once?
Not even a little bit.
It's like the Don Draper thing where Sakurai looks over at multiverses and is just like, I don't think about you at all. And gets off the elevator.
He's like, I'm sorry, they're doing what?
Yeah.
What? All right, okay.
more power to you. I tried to get Bugs Bunny once and I was unsuccessful to get him.
That's the thing. Sakurai didn't even want him. Like he did not want anything that wasn't a video game character first. Like he's very adamant about that point. And like I support it because then you get into the real weeb shit, like fucking Goku's and waifus and all that.
Weeb shit. So yeah, there's no character that's not a video game character first, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Stay true to it.
Well, technically, there's Rob. He's like a thing. Rob is like a piece of plastic.
But he is a video game character.
Accessory. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, that'd be like putting in like the Duck Hunt gun.
Well, the Super Scope is an item in Smash.
That is true. That is true. A quick second story today is I just want everyone to know that Suika game is officially on iOS. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. $2.99. I bought it. You could play it vertical or horizontal. And let me tell you, I played one game today, 2,000. And I say anything above the current year is considered a success in my book. And it was like 2,050. So did great.
So when you said you were super busy today, now I know why.
Suika takes like 5 minutes, Nicholas.
So I don't think you played one.
Some of us don't leave the call in the middle. Some of us stay here the whole time. We have butts to talk about. But yeah,
how does that game play in landscape? Actually, like
I didn't switch it. I just played it vertically. It plays great vertically. You
like
just
does the box get bigger? That's like I'm curious.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you turn it certain ways, it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Do they make up for it because it's like a longer box, but it's like it's shorter?
Yeah, it's a chody box.
Who can? So there you go. Highly recommend Suika game. And then the other news bit before we get to the main thing is content warning, which is a game that was revealed and released on April 1st. from the developers behind Tabs, the totally accurate battle simulator.
Yeah.
And this was as a kind of an April Fool's stunt goof. I don't know what we want to call it. It's almost like the murder of the Sonic the Hedgehog thing last year, where it's like this doesn't sound real, but it is real. They revealed this game and released it, and for the first 24 hours on Steam, it was free. And they said, hey, if you download it or just put it in your library in the first 24 hours, the game is free. And then afterwards, I think it was like $7 or $8. $8. And the game is sort of a Lethal Company-esque game where you play as like influencers or content creators who are going around these kind of spooky places and trying to capture spooky shit on their phone that they can then like upload to the internet. And like it's one of those games where it's the enjoyment you get is probably the enjoyment of who you're playing with, that kind of thing. But their marketing scheme, whatever we want to call it, with the stealth drop and the 24 hours of free seemed to work, because they said over 6 million people claimed it and it hit 200,000 concurrents on Steam, which is incredible. And there's been a lot of discussions about this, and then they got a flood of like overwhelmingly positive reviews on it because of this thing. And so it's like, is this going to be a new strategy? Release it for free for 24 hours and then try to use that to almost like build up a solid foundation for your game and then do that. I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't know if I ever saw a game that did something quite like this. So I want to get some of your guys' thoughts.
I would say they are probably kicking themselves in the ass that 6 million people grabbed this game for free instead of giving 6 million people paying $8.
But would anyone have covered this game if it were just released for $8? Would people have just looked at it and been like, man, it's whatever? Like,
I don't
would
know.
we be talking about it right now? Probably not. Because there's a lot of games that are like-ish this.
It's hard to say whether you could have it both ways, right? Like the fact that it was free to download is probably contributed a lot to that big ass number, because like you guys just posted it in our Slack saying like, hey, we might want to try this out. It's out for 24 hours, so get it now. And
I have to imagine a bunch of people did that to their buds.
Like
hey,
otherwise
click this button.
I did it to my buds.
Yeah.
So like a good number of those people may just never even boot it up, in all honesty.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean,
200,000 people playing it concurrently is nothing to sneeze at.
No, that's a big number. And like, like the promo that a zeitgeist like that saying like, hey, this cool thing is free, works to actually get the people who would be interested in playing it to like notice it. So like, yeah, that is a good strategy. It does feel like the kind of thing that only happens like maybe 1 or 2 times though.
Sure.
Like it doesn't feel like a new normal in that way, though. I'm sure we will get a lot more people trying it.
I mean,
it is.
that the company that made Tabs has also made other games and have done pretty well with those games. So I mean, this is a risk that they could take, because that's definitely a risk. Like if this had not gone viral and just basically didn't go anywhere, even if it was free, then they basically just had a failed game launch. So
yeah, I believe Landfall is the developer.
Yep. Landfall Games.
Yeah, and I've been following. They have another game in development that I've been following, and I don't have it written down, but it's looked really cool. And it's like, here it is, Haste Broken Worlds. It's a very bad name for a video. Haste Broken Worlds, but it's like you know how Sonic the Hedgehog loves going fast. It's kind of a game about that, but with like an infinite world. Kind of, but I've like read stuff about the tech behind it and everything.
Is that the thing with like the real far POV, and then it's like a weird sort of tube thing that some kid in a trench coat? Yes, Eric just put the thing up. Yes, I've seen tons and tons of Twitter clips.
Yeah,
and it does look really neat, honestly.
So it all seems like this was a thing that, if I'm assuming this is the story behind this thing, is this is the game they've been working on, which is going to be their game that they're going to charge for money. And then Lethal Company came out and they were like, hey, we have like a cool idea in this vein for content warning. And then they might have made that, in a truncated period, off hours, that kind of thing, and then sort of release that. So that, like, maybe for a studio like this, like, the content warning was almost like, let's just see this thing as an experiment, whereas this is the thing they've been working on for a long time. But, yeah. I also think it wouldn't work if the game was a single-player game, because I think the virality of people recommending it to their friends was like, hey, we can play this someday.
Oh, yeah.
If it was just a single-player game, like I'd probably let you guys know, but like I wouldn't be letting friends know. Like
Yeah,
I'd be letting like anyone.
It instantly went viral on like Twitch and TikTok yesterday. Like I was already seeing clips of goofy people on Instagram and everything last night of it.
Yeah.
So it's a streamer bait game. It's perfect. It's that kind of perfect game to release for free, where people are like, oh, I can make fun content out of this myself. So yeah, I mean, it's a genre that's really taking off, and I'm actually glad to see it is. Just a genre that's more about player creativity rather than just shooting shit all the time or killing things.
Yeah,
and there is no other way it's monetized, right? Other than now that it's past that 24 hours, it's $8 to buy. Like there's no
I think as
transactions
of
in it
now,
at all.
there's not.
Yeah, so now the good thing is like they're gonna get drip sales in from oh, I got it for free,
People
but my
who
friends
missed out.
didn't. Yeah.
Pouring iced coffee. I'm sorry. So with my iced coffee, I have iced coffee here, but then I always have bonus iced coffee in a White Hen Pantry mug, and because I keep it in the fridge, and I was pouring, and I thought you guys would just be talking a little bit more, so I thought I'd be able to pour in silence and not have my spot blown up.
No, you and Jack both do this. You pour your drinks on stream, and you're like,
you know what?
I gotta have my grapefruit.
Couple of hydrated boys. That's what they say. Jack and I, number one hydrated boy, drinking coffee, which is a fucking
grapefruit
not
and
hydrated.
cookies for Jack.
I don't like grapefruit juice. That's gross. Cookies are great.
Amazing.
And Eric says play Rounds, which is by the same developer.
Yeah, that's been suggested.
They have a lot of goofy games. Cluster Truck is really fun.
Oh, I remember
Rounds
Cluster
is fun.
Truck.
Stick Fight. Yeah.
People fighting with sticks.
Yeah, like pretty much all their games have like a very physical comedy aspect to it, which is why they do so well.
Yeah, and that's like
They're very simple. They remind me of like Flash games, but much better made.
yeah. Or they were probably maybe developers who were growing up on Flash games.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah. Good shit, boys. You want to get to the main topic? We're doing great. What if we're out of here by 7? There's no way.
I can make it to the gym if we do that.
Oh my God, he can go to the gym. Get Casey.
I gotta go to the gym too.
We're not gonna make it. I'm definitely not going to the gym. If I'm being honest. I'm gonna watch Shogun from last night because I want to see how my Japanese pals and my Portuguese pals are doing. Oh my God, did you? I don't want to spoil it. We'll talk about it later. But episode 5, holy Moses, what's going on? Shogun,
you're 2 episodes behind then.
No, I watched 6 as well.
Oh, okay.
Episode 5 had like a very WTF moment.
Yeah.
Let's get to our main topic, which is Shogun. It's great. No, it is the as you see here in the art. Nick, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what game is in the art.
It's called Eternal Strands. It's a brand new game that was revealed yesterday from Yellow Brick Studios, which is Mike Laidlaw's new studio. And he was former BioWare, like former creative director at BioWare. And this is their new Shadow of the Colossus kind of Monster Hunter X Dragon's Dogma kind of like. Yeah. It's actually looks like a more fun Dragon's Dogma to me, just because more color.
Yeah, and it's like a single player, like go explore
action adventure,
new fantasy world, and big old beasties that you can climb and fight and stuff.
With
looks
a lot
really
of
cool.
physics too.
A lot of physics, yeah. And so this is the whole thing is almost about like using elements like fire and ice and stuff to both in traversal and in puzzle solving and fighting bosses. But that is so that is an example of a game that is seemingly, seems like they're relatively close-ish to release. I think they said 2025. The game seems like it's coming along well. But that's one of the games that was fortunate enough, seemingly, to get to this point, because we're hitting this point both in the economy and in the sort of the games economy where the funding is starting to dry up, and sources that teams independent teams, small and big, used to go to might not be there anymore. We had PC Gamer has an interesting piece that kind of profiled a handful of developers, including folks behind Slay the Spire and Darkest Dungeon, about how it feels like that heyday of Game Pass and Epic free games, and these like Microsoft and Epic, helping fund indie games and really helping games get across the line and helping teams with a safe payment that no matter what the game sells, they're going to be fine. Like the days of those pretty lucrative deals seem to be over. And this is coming at the same time where, we've talked a lot, and Nick's talked a lot about those sort of indie studios that form from the bones of bigger AAA studios, so that as these incredible studios who made these games we love are bleeding talent, for one reason or another, that talent is able to create their own studios and hopefully make games without sort of the C-suite thumbprint on them. But those studios are also seeing moments where funding is drying up and projects are being canceled and studios are closing. And then at the same time, back at GDC a few weeks ago, I talked about how it was sort of anecdotally, I saw some facts about who is fucking with this thing? Stop it. Sorry. I saw stuff about how 60% of playtime in 2023 went to 6 specific games, went to games that were 6 years or older. So 60% of all gameplay in 2023 was to games that were 6 years or older, and 27% of that was in a handful of games that included Fortnite, Roblox, League of Legends, Minecraft, and GTA 5. Those 5 games accounted for over a quarter of all video gaming last year, which is fucking nuts to me.
Like this like that statement, these numbers are going around today, but like how long has this been the case? Like since Fortnite, did Fortnite unseat something else that was doing well? GTA has been out for
I think
10 years now.
I would say it started with GTA 5 because that game is multiplayer scene. I think outside of Counter-Strike has lasted longer than most games. Well, Counter-Strike and like League of Legends and Dota and stuff like that. Like those games have had player bases for years and years and years. You know, the MMO stuff where they stick forever with them. I mean, those, in all intents and purposes, they are MMOs, games that that's your game. You live in that game. Destiny players, all that kind of stuff. So, that stat does not surprise me at all. Like 60% was spent on 6 games, or whatever game, how many games. It doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, when you look at if you have like a big friends list on Xbox, look at your friends list. What are they playing? Fortnite, Call of Duty, League of Legends.
But does the fact that 60% is games that were 6 years or older, like, does it surprise you that there aren't?
They're old, but they're not like old because they're constantly updated with new things to play.
Yeah, they're all like live games, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, and I think I don't have proof of this because I have not done a comprehensive study, but I'm of the mindset of like the gaming industry experienced kind of explosive growth at the same time as when these big ass like phenomenon games were hitting the market, like with Minecraft, with GTA 5, with Fortnite, right? Like way more people were now involved in the gaming sphere with the Switch and the pandemic as well. They drew in like so many more people. I don't know if those people were around before that. Like, I don't know if these games are eating everyone else's cake so much as they found a new audience who just likes that one thing. Like with the truck simulators and like the flight simulators, and like those audiences just play that thing. And I feel like maybe Fortnite is that for a bunch of newer gamers, like younger gamers who just would not basically would have been swallowed up by the mobile game market if not for something like Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, I think these games, we keep seeing more and more people join the industry, like whatever name you want to give them, the casual mobile audience came over to a lot of this stuff, or the normie audience that plays the sports games and their FPS every year, and that's it. Like that's I think, there's no surprise in that stat to me that like 40% of the game's audience is what you'd consider maybe hardcore.
Well, and it's interesting too. In that same data, in that same Kotaku article I shared, they had the top 10 most played games last year on PC, on PlayStation, on Xbox, and on Switch. And on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, only one game total was a single player game, and that was Starfield, which was number 8 in the most played Xbox list. And so that shows like stuff like Diablo, or even stuff like Baldur's Gate 3 like didn't crack, for as beloved of those games were, like didn't crack the level that stuff like games that people just forget about, like Rocket League and Valorant and League and Call of Duty and stuff, like The Sims, which is still like massively popular.
It's like almost like the same thing in Hollywood. Like I bet if you would look at the movie watch times, nine out of 10 are Marvel movies. You know.
No, the problem is 9 out of 10 are just the worst shit on Netflix. It is like whatever Netflix original.
That's also
They're always like Fall Guy, the hit Ryan Reynolds movie. 1 billion people watched it. I'm like, why
didn't they just release a Lindsay Lohan love like rom-com where she's in Ireland? That was like number one.
Yeah, I want
like
that's
that. Like,
how accurate it was.
like that movie looked like shit. Like it looked so boring. But it's up there. It's on that.
And
list.
it auto plays when you pass out. You're watching a fucking episode of The Office, and you pass out. You wake up in the middle of the night, and it's playing the fucking Lindsay Lohan movie.
Getting back to the funding topic, I actually put that specific game in the thumbnail today because it's an interesting thing coming from the big split up of Embracer lately, with like Saber buying itself back out, basically, and Gearbox getting bought by Take-Two. So Yellow Brick. This game, Eternal Strands, was actually originally funded by Private Division, and they have now ended that deal with Private Division. Are going to self-fund or self-publish their own game, and so I think that's a trend I'm starting to see too. Is a lot of developers kind of taking their games back from publishers, knowing that we need all the money we can get, and it's better to just take a risk on our own and self-publish the stuff than give 30, 40, 20, whatever it is % to the publisher for whatever they need to do, especially with the way, I mean, YouTube markets your game for you at this point. Like, how much do you really, you know, if you're an established developer or if you're hitting a trend of something, how much do you really need a publisher, you know, to get behind you and push the marketing for you if they're just making trailers and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, like the published, like Embracer breaking up is a big story, and like I think more developers are going to end up getting sold and leaving Embracer, even though they say they're done restructuring. Like they just released Outcast 2, which was a big financial failure for them. I think the South Park game just released on Embracer also did not do well.
Oh my god, that game came out.
Yeah,
What's the deal with that? It's bad, right?
It's terrible.
It's bad.
Yeah,
it's terrible. South Park.
Yeah.
Done.
So I think Embracer will continue restructuring, even though they say they're done. But the other thing is like Kickstarter. I've seen a big uptick in games getting funded on Kickstarter almost immediately. And I think I posted about that on Twitter a couple weeks ago, wondering, you know, are we going to see a big influx of Kickstarter games? And I think I shared a tweet with like 4 good-looking ones that either are already on Kickstarter, got funded, or coming to Kickstarter very soon.
Yeah, and Kickstarter's a way to kind of it gives you that initial push of cash, and that a lot of times can help you. Well, I guess I don't know if the money's still there, but that helps you when you go to maybe a publisher or when you go to an Xbox or a PlayStation and you're like, hey, do you want to give some money to have this game on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus? The Zao, the Tales of Kenzera game, that's coming to PlayStation Plus, I believe, at launch.
Yep.
Yeah, we keep seeing, you know, Game Pass is still, it feels like every month or two, at least, a relatively big indie game is still debuting. Sea of Stars was a great example of a game that was kickstarted, right? And then obviously got a lot of outside
Sea of Stars, Darkest Dungeon was Kickstarter, Divinity Original Sin was Kickstarter, Kingdom Deliverance was Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Hollow Knight was Kickstarted.
Hollow Knight was Kickstarted. Yeah, there's been a lot of really good Kickstarter games. I think people easily forget. You know, there's that one big high-profile failure that makes the platform seem awful.
Well, I think there's probably been a lot. There's been probably a few crazy duds, a lot of whatever, and then a handful of like fucking huge bangers. Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's interesting to look at this data, look at these lists. Someone asked earlier, does that include Nintendo? No, Nintendo is also on this list, and Fortnite is their only. The Fortnite, Fall Guys, I guess, and Minecraft are the games they share. But then they have Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Wonder, Mario Kart, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Hogwarts Legacy on Switch. What? I didn't even know that came out on Switch.
Yeah.
Switch can't run that. What's going on there?
What happened?
That's a literal magic. We need to study that.
That is odd.
And Smash. Maybe that's what they were talking about at dinner. Is that Smash was the 10th most played game on Switch last year? Which, you know, good for that. Good
it's
for
probably KC by himself.
6-year-old game. Honestly, it might have not made the top 10 without you, KC. So
Hey, I do my part.
Yeah,
but yeah, like there was my video that's coming out on Friday for Unpacked is talking about, what does AAA mean and all that, and just doing the research for that video, and like I already knew a lot of publishers existed, but like when I was going through the new studios that have been doing layoffs and all that, because like you did your video back on the Escapist of how many new studios were announced in that like 1-2 year period during COVID.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back to that and see how many of those games have released. I feel like not a lot, right?
Not many.
A lot
of them got announced not too long ago. Like Embark is a studio, but they announced Arc Raiders in the finals, so they released one of their games. The Slitterhead.
I bet that's what they were talking about. At that Japanese dinner. They were absolutely talking about Slitterhead.
Yeah, and then Exodus was announced at the Game Awards this past from.
Okay, I kind of want to do a check-in. I pulled up my doc. Haven, that was Jade Raymond's studio, which
Fair Games.
They're doing Fair Games with a $sign, so they're a first-party Sony studio. Firewalk Studios, which I believe. Is that the studio that went under?
That's the Probably Monster studio. That Deviation is the one that went under. Firewalk is the one that's doing Concord.
Concord. What game is that?
All we got was
we just know what the logo looks like.
It's
it has that kind of like 80s
sci-fi
like the 80s sci-fi, like almost like you're in an arcade. Yeah. I remember that. Striking Distance.
Callisto
that was Callisto Protocol. So they made a game. Good on them. Gravity Well.
Haven't announced yet.
Have not announced, but that is a LA-based AAA studio founded by Respawn alumni.
Yep.
Stray Bombay, which made the Anacrusis, which we streamed. Doesn't seem like that game did crazy, but we streamed it a little bit.
Like that game, released or
it's been out for a while.
We played it in early something.
Yeah, I think it released in early access. Yeah. Wolfeye Studios, who did Weird West, which that game released, and I believe
that game's on Game Pass right now.
That game's on Game Pass, and I believe they're working on a new game that almost sounds kind of like Prey. Yeah, that sounds like Prey. Bokeh Game Studio, which I'm very excited about. Which that's Slitterhead, so that's by the former Silent Hill, Siren, and Gravity Rush creator. Mountaintop Studios, which they haven't announced, but their whole thing was like they developed like a super team of people from like a billion different studios. Embark, who have already done the finals, and what's
Arc Raiders.
Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is not out yet, right?
No, it was originally a mostly PvE game. Then they pivoted to an extraction game, and I don't think the beta was received very well. So I wonder if they're going to revert back to more of a PvE co-op game.
Interesting. Ghost Story Games, which Ken Levine's studio, who we saw Judas the other week.
Just talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, Raccoon Logic. I feel like I spelled raccoon wrong on the script, which is worrisome, but I guess I read it out loud, so that's fine.
It's a new studio from the people that made Journey to the Savage Planet after Google Stadia shut their studio down.
Yeah, you also can't use the word new with any of these, because I wrote this like fucking 10,000 years ago. They have not announced the game, right?
No, they have not yet.
Okay. Archetype Entertainment, which
Exodus.
Oh yeah, that's the game that was announced at the Game Awards, which looks like BioWare, or what looks like Mass Effect, with a lot of former BioWare folks. And then That's No Moon, which is the team of folks from former Naughty Dog and Infinity War, who we think might be working on a Star Wars thing because of their name. Or
and they got $100 million investment. So.
What if they make $100 million games? That would be great.
So they're the reason why the funding dried up, I guess.
Pretty much.
They took it all.
They took all the funding. Did you guys see? This is a terrible thing that I did not do my research on. Namco, Bandai Namco, the other week released 3 free games, new games. Released them for free. This wasn't they are available for a week thing. They just released them for free on Steam. And the whole thing is they are having almost young talent work on these things to be like, you're new at the studio, like cut your chops on this thing, and we'll throw it out there, and then you'll have a little, you'll have a little
get some, feedback and stuff,
meat on your bones, and then move up to whatever Namco's gonna do next. Which I think that's pretty cool. I downloaded all 3, have not played any, so this story's bad. But I think one is that or dog.
No, that's a really interesting experiment.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, these publishers have to cultivate new talent because they've lost all their name talent to independent studios. They've all left. It's weird. You were talking about that. I don't remember if we were talking about that last week or not, but like you think about EA and like who's running those studios anymore. The only name that comes to mind is Vince Zampella at this point. Like that's the only person I know left at EA Studios that has a long-standing name. At Activision, nobody. I can't think of anybody left there. Like Ubisoft, all their big name creative directors have all left.
Casey's still there. That's not true. Clint Hawking's still there. I know his name.
What does he do?
My name is Casey. It's rather short. Not that big a name.
No. Clint Hawking did Far Cry 2, he did Watch Dogs 3, and now he's doing Assassin's Creed Spooky. What's the name of that game?
Well, Watch Dogs 3 was terrible. So
Watch Dogs 3 was not terrible, Nick. Don't throw the T word around if you don't mean it.
I do.
It was whatever, and Nada did such a good job at doing.
I was bored of that game in the first hour. I liked Watch Dogs 1.
You know what?
I hated Watch Dogs 1.
I thought Aiden Pierce was a very boring man.
I want to try 2. 2 looks fun.
2 is great. I think 2 is legitimately great.
I couldn't. I wanted to like 2. I just couldn't. Like the main character didn't fit with what was happening on screen. He's like a go happy lucky guy, and then you're supposed to go blow everybody up.
That was a personal choice, though. You didn't have to shoot everyone. I heard.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, the hacking isn't very fun.
I didn't ask for this. I don't care that your cousin died.
At least Watch Dogs 1 like had a good atmosphere about it.
You're insane.
Watch Dogs 2 is just smelly San Francisco.
Smelly San Francisco. You can't.
I was just there.
You go to San Francisco.
Like
you don't leave a fucking.
Everywhere.
You don't leave a 3-block radius. You are the problem.
I walked all the way to the Bay for IHOP. I went up a mountain to get to IHOP.
San Francisco is the most beautiful American city. It is insane. It is like 15 cities in one, and you go to one of them, the worst one by the convention center, and you have the fucking chutzpah to come back here and call it smelly.
No, I walked. Matt and I tried to walk to IHOP on the Bay, and we had to walk
on the Bay.
We had to walk to a fucking mountain to get there.
Why were we going to IHOP though?
We got to the top of the mountain, and then we took an Uber from there.
Mountain? What are you talking about? Thank you for showing an accurate representation of San Francisco.
Yeah, that's literally what the hill looked like that we were walking up.
Really good dude, man.
This is like, why does this exist? How do these cars go up this thing?
That is such a good goof. It's incredible. If anyone's going there, I'll give you a big list. I don't know why I didn't give you a big list of places to go. IHOP would not have been on the list.
You didn't help me. We went to some steakhouse that was terrible too. Tad's Steakhouse.
Don't go to Tad's. That's such a tourist trap, Nick. You could have went.
I didn't know it was tourist. You know where it was. You didn't give me a list of places to go.
You guys should have asked Marty.
I have a list.
I always forget he lived there.
I lived there for fucking.
He's a Wisconsin.
12 years. Well, I lived in Oakland for 2 years and there for 10 years.
Oakland is like super close, right?
Yeah, across the bay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Oakland in May, so I will elicit your advice.
Oh my god, I have so many Oakland recommendations.
Probably a better food at Alcatraz.
Prison, Nick.
The Rock.
How could you? What if? Any last thoughts on? Do we feel good? Like our games are gonna be okay, right? I feel good about games.
I think games are going to. Venture capital got really into games during the pandemic, and I think
they're making a shit ton of money.
Yep, they were making a shit ton of money. I think that funding that was there was never meant to last. I do think there are too many games that have gotten funded. Unfortunately, there's too much choice, and like for every game you see successful, like there's probably like 50 that are selling maybe 100 copies. And so I think we've kind of hit a peak market saturation of too many games to play.
TMG.
Yeah, and I think this was always bound to happen, unfortunately. And I think, unfortunately, like I don't know, like Shinobi 602 on Twitter has a list of compiled studios from like the last 3 years that were announced, and there's like 70 studios in there, all vying for your time, your attention, other people's money. Like it's a given that what 60% of them are probably not going to succeed long term.
Well, so all those studios are vying for the attention of the 40% of
40%, yeah.
game time that is
Yeah.
not playing one of those
Like it's
mega
it's
games.
the illusion of the game's market,
Yeah.
right?
And,
This,
like-
this is the exact same trap Nintendo fell into with the Wii, where there's like, look how many Wiis we sold. We can sell all our software to everyone. It was like, no, we just want Wii Sports. It was probably the same different 60% of those people just played Wii Sports, and then the hardcore were left wanting, right? So like, yeah, the retraction makes sense. Like the people who are chasing the big money and chasing the models of those like kind of established games for the last 10 years probably will not be able to crack them. Same thing with like World of Warcraft when that was king of the MMO space, and like it still exists to this day, like World of Warcraft. So like, yeah, like I think at some point the chasers, like the people who are just in it to make a quick buck, will realize that that doesn't work, and then they'll take their money elsewhere. And then the people who are passionate about this space will rise up again, and it'll probably be some of these new studios that we're seeing come out of the ashes of the big bubble.
So, I'm just curious, like with these games, these forever games that are entrenched, your Fortnite, Roblox, League, Minecraft, GTA 5. Well, I guess GTA 5 will become GTA 6. Because my question was going to be, what game on the horizon has a chance of joining this? And I guess GTA 6 is the answer, right? Even though it's probably not coming out.
Yeah,
for
it's
2
more.
years.
It's just more.
I mean, honestly, like I think Helldivers joined it. I mean, it's what 2 months, 3 months since it came out. 200,000 players daily still, and that's just on PC. So I mean, I think Lethal Company, like Helldivers, have kind of figured it out. Like, you can't just copy. You gotta do unique, fun gameplay again. And because like there's a game that came out recently. I'm noting it in my video, kind of a little bit meanly, even though I kind of feel bad for the devs. But it's called Hawked, and it's
called what?
It's called Hawked, like a hawk, but ED.
Like
that sounds like a hawk. That sounds like a hawk with a erectile dysfunction. But,
yeah, Hawked, an online extraction shooter. I've literally never heard of this game.
Yeah, it was like promoted all over Xbox, and it's basically Fortnite looking, very Fortnite looking extraction shooter. Tons of marketing,
Fortnite looking.
Tons of marketing money behind it. It has completely tanked. And
this was at we watched this trailer.
This has been at many showcases, yeah, and
because it looks like almost like Fortnite in Temple Run.
Oh my god, yeah.
I think
no, that's a perfect description.
Yeah,
it has completely and utterly failed, and like it's not a cheap game.
No,
it's got my games as a publisher behind it, and they're a big free to play mobile gaming publisher.
Yeah.
And so like
it's a fool's errand to try and eat these titans cake. Like they want to basically come and like glom onto that, but like those people are preoccupied. Like that's rough.
Yeah. So like this was a game I looked at and I was like, nope, it's not gonna go anywhere. It just can't. Like nope.
It's also that these like those games we mentioned all almost like can exist simultaneously and aren't trying to take from each other's plate. Like Fortnite, Roblox, League, Minecraft, and GTA feel different enough to where they're like, all right, we are like the 5 families and we can sit at this table in peace and like fend off anything that comes here. But I don't know. I'm just curious, like, are we going to get a MOBA ever that, I mean, so many have tried and failed to unseat. I mean, Dota is
Dota
up there,
and League of Legends.
Dota, yeah, to unseat those, like, no Fortnite has ever come close. Minecraft is in a complete league of its own. No big open world game has ever come close to GTA in terms of longevity and in terms of like just the amount it still sells year after year, which is fucking nuts. And like when people are like, how does it take them? It's going to take them 13 years to release the follow up, and it's like, well, because the first one just kept selling, so they have the time.
They don't. Yeah, and like I don't like these guys don't need to. I don't really think they need to defend their positions. They're so high up there. There's no reaching it. I think you got to go for that middle ground, right? And like even somebody looks at on Steam, right, and says like Insurgency was a failed game or whatever when it has like 10 to 20,000 daily active players. That's a really good number. Like any developer making a multiplayer game is going to be happy about that number of having 10 to 20,000 daily active players. Like that's
assuming you're not a team of 200. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah. It's a reasonable number to hit. So like Helldivers 2 is up in that upper echelon now of like this is massively successful game.
Yeah.
But 10 to 20,000, that's very successful. Like Squad, Hell Let Loose are all doing those kind of numbers, and they're doing fine. So I think there's again, it's like really just on the backs of publishers to be realistic about what you can actually achieve and being sustainable with. Okay, we have Hell Let Loose, and we need 20,000 players daily to be a successful game and continue developing and make it a live service thing. That it's not going to generate $10 million every month. No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I'm so curious what Microsoft's going to end up doing with Call of Duty, because Warzone is its own platform now. Like, do you stick with that and then stop spending an inordinate amount of money on Call of Duty campaigns again, even though people say they want to play them, but nobody actually does?
Yeah, they got pushback from that the last time, and then
they did that for Black Ops 4. Yeah,
but did that do anything for them? Like, were people like, yes, great, we got it back now? Like, sales went up, or like, because Call of Duty has kind of been like stale.
I'd have to look.
Right?
Well, I mean, it's Call of Duty's been giving people what they want. They wanted Modern Warfare. Like the real question is like, did they hit the peak again with Modern Warfare 2? Because Vanguard didn't sell as well, Black Ops Cold War didn't sell as well, and Modern Warfare 3 I think has sold well, but like it's very like the campaign was universally hated because it's terrible.
Are there like rumors and stuff what this year is supposed to be?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Black Ops Gulf War. So
Saddam Hussein?
Yeah, pretty much. So we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, like it almost doesn't matter. Like, it's still going to sell, and then you have Warzone, which just rakes in billions.
Yeah,
I guess we're forgetting about Apex Legends too, which does really well.
Does Call of Duty's multiplayer has that? Like, is that still like a thing? Like, it's regular?
Oh yeah.
Team deathmatch, like that is living nicely alongside its Warzone component.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they make a ton of money on both, so I don't know. Like I think the one maybe contender is if EA can get Battlefield right again, but they have a huge uphill battle to win back the fans of that series because they've screwed it up 3 times in a row.
Weren't there just layoffs, or didn't they just?
Well, they laid off the Ridgeline EA Ridgeline games, which Ridgeline, which was making the single player portion of Battlefield, but then now they've given that single player portion to Criterion.
Look at that Criterion Collection.
So,
my gut says we won't see Microsoft's influence on Call of Duty for a little while. I imagine whatever was the plan for the next few games is probably going to remain the plan, but I'm also curious.
Yeah, but I think in general though, like unfortunately, I think a lot more of these smaller to mid-tier publishers are probably gonna struggle over the next few years. And I think, part of the reason why you're seeing like this Triple I initiative, right? And next week, like they're gonna work with each other to basically showcase their games to a larger audience and not need a publisher when they can just use each other's audiences to get their games out there.
Yeah, so that's we're gonna be doing.
Which should have happened a long time ago. I'm surprised this taking this long for like indie studios with huge audience to be like, hey, maybe you guys will be interested in my game.
yeah, exactly. Band together, rising tide raises all ships, kind of thing.
Yeah,
we'll be streaming that.
To see it.
Nick Frost and myself will be streaming that next Wednesday at noon Central. It's a 40-minute showcase just with a lot of the next games from the teams that brought you Spiritfarer and blank and blank. Hollow Knight Stealth Drop. We're getting a lot of. Did you see this Hollow Knight rumble?
Yeah, apparently got an Xbox page and an ESRB rating.
Are they? Team Cherry are they announced as part of this thing?
I don't want to say it. Well, if you're shadow dropping, you don't announce.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah,
Stone Cold's coming back Sunday at WrestleMania. They're not going to fucking be like, and stay tuned for a beer of a good time. That doesn't make sense. That's not a saying. Stone Cold likes to drink beers, though, Nick.
One game I do think might quietly like take over by storm is this Once Human, which hasn't really done a lot of marketing, but IGN just had a big preview of it yesterday and is going into like a preview thing today. It's another survival kind of crafting game, but with a lot more PvE elements to it and like a really unique, weird world. And quietly on social, quietly on social media, it's had a lot of attention, and they're expecting like 200,000 people to take part in this upcoming beta test, private beta.
Who's this?
Lofty expectations.
I don't know who the Starry Games is. Starry Studio.
Yeah, another AAA independent studio was announced a couple years ago.
Interesting.
So this, I guess, to close this topic up, because I'm just curious, like the funding, right?
Sure.
Before all these venture capitalists tried to jump into the party, where was that coming from for indie studios? Or was it the case that they were kind of just like doing it as a side hustle, and like the games were smaller in scope, and like the ID at Xbox or PlayStation's I can't remember what they call it, but they're little smaller indie showcase. Like, is that where this started? Like, was it just not at this scale before?
It was just a lot of smaller publishers, like Humble Games and Raw Fury and all that. And there's so many more small publishers now that we've been doing a list. I've been building a list with Marty and Cisco to like basically put together a sponsorship reach out list. And I mean, Marty can tell you, like, you look at that list and he's like, I've never heard of half of these publishers.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah. For every Devolver, Annapurna, Humble, that is relatively well known, you have a million that you're just like, I don't know what this is.
It's like, are these fronts for the mob? Where does this money come from?
That's what like that restaurant you have. You're like, no one ever goes here. And a lot of them closed.
A lot of them came from like the PR industry and ended up forming their own like indie funds and all that. But there's definitely like some of them that were funded by venture capital, and then some of them are also like Ghost Ship Publishing, right? They have Deep Rock Galactic, and that game has done gangbusters in money.
Yeah,
and so they've opened up their own little publishing label. So a lot of studios have their own publishing labels.
Yeah, and now you're getting into the folks like Donkey publishing games. Like that's like kind of a new frontier that I'm curious about. That like, if Animal Well comes out and it's like a huge fucking hit, is that going to be like, oh my god,
a wave of YouTube content creator game publishers, right? Because a lot of people's we're kind of going to be maybe in that boat, right?
That's where I want to be.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a YouTubers becoming game publishers is a damn good business thing, because you have a built-in audience that like knows your taste in games, and if you put your name behind a game, then people most likely trust you, unless you like crap, and sometimes we like crap, like the Order 1886.
We should fund that.
Take a phrase.
The Order 1886 and see what's going on. You know what? My personal favorite way of mode of funding are super chats, such as Fungus Finder, $2 dono. What's the funding goal for season 5 in Adventure in New Orleans?
Hawaii.
Jesus, I'm trying to go to
New Orleans is way more attainable.
Jack said no Hawaii.
Why did Jack say no Hawaii? Because it would be way too much fucking money.
Yeah, we'd have to like get the equipment there too.
Yeah.
No, the Lost equipment is there. Like, you can rent the equipment they use to film Lost on the beach. You can like rent it for an afternoon if you want. Yeah, we did the Midwest. We did DC. I don't know. It'll probably just be somewhere cheap.
Kansas City.
To be honest,
it might just be DC again. Honestly, that was a
that
worked very well.
Yeah, we basically said we would just, because Omar's got all the equipment there, we basically just want to go back to DC every year now.
And even tear down the set.
It was fun.
The studio's like,
the
studio's still there. Down. And you're like, we might be back next year. There you go. Humane Shield with a $4.99 dono. Thank you so much. Jesse doing Madden play-by-play calls is something I never knew I wanted till I saw it. Now I need more. In an alternate universe, that would have been this week's Hidden Gems, but we don't live in that universe.
Watching Jesse play Madden.
Yeah, that would have been a hidden gem.
No,
but it would have been like Madden 19.
Oh god.
He made a video, for anyone who doesn't know the context. Jesse made a video on his personal channel where he was essentially commentating Madden, and he knows nothing about the rules of football. It was very funny.
I would like download, if like I could pay $1 to download his commentary in Madden, I'd play Madden more often. Honestly, it'd be great. And then 10-7 with a $5 dono. Thank you so much. Going back to our conversation earlier, Nick eats at restaurants like Yahtzee watches movies, which is very funny because Yahtzee.
We went to that Michelin star Thai restaurant.
Which one?
Whatever one was by the Hilton Union Square.
Was it good?
It's in a hotel lobby.
I don't go to hotels. What? I'm not like hiring escorts when I'm living there.
Those hostels.
That's pretty
Omar,
funny
he knows.
because Yahtzee after the podcast the other week, Yahtzee was talking about how there's no more good movies, and then when I asked
He's
him
like,
when's
"I
the
don't
last
watch
time he
any
saw a
movies."
movie, he's like years ago. I was like, what? It's, like genuinely insane to be like, there's no good movies. I was like, did you see Dune 2? He's like, I haven't seen a movie in years. I'm like, okay, well, what are we doing here?
Why is everybody laughing at something Eric did?
He gave you those scary laser eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
there they are. I see them.
Like the last son of Krypton. There you want to talk about what we've been playing? Nick, you got laser eyes. What have you been playing and watching?
What have I been playing? Oh, I watched Band of Brothers for the first time finally. Really enjoyed it. I don't know why. I just never got around to it because I never had HBO Max until they started releasing other things. But finally watched it, and boy, that episode where they discover the concentration camps, just like, boy, that'll be etched into my brain for the rest of my life. That was like, it was so well done that I'm like, you can imagine being there and just the horror of walking into that. So I was like, oh my god, that's just but yeah, I'm gonna watch Pacific next, Masters of the Air, but I'm also watching The Gentleman on Netflix.
Is that related to The Gentleman, the movie?
It's like in the same universe, but it's like a separate TV series from Guy Ritchie. Yeah,
gotcha.
Very cross.
So this is Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, this is Guy Ritchie.
Wasn't there like a trailer I just saw with like Henry Cavill in it about something Ungentlemanly League, which was also Guy Ritchie? Or is
Guy Ritchie I think his Madonna alimony is so big because he makes so many things. I think it is so big. And I don't even know if there's alimony. They might still be married. I don't know. But he makes like several movies a year, and I just don't even know how you do that. But The Gentleman, is it good?
Yeah.
Nick, this is an audio medium. You got to power through your dog shitting on you or whatever.
He crop dusted me real bad. Very.
You gotta plow through it.
No, I don't want to.
Plow through it. All right, great. Your time is up, Casey. What have you been watching?
God. What else have I been playing?
This is why we write things down beforehand, Nick.
I can't think because the fart is so bad.
That's why we write things down, Nick.
Yeah, the point still stands.
No,
Casey, just talk about what you've been playing.
I can't.
Yeah, I've honestly not been able to make time for anything other than Unicorn Overlord in my life. It is my Overlord.
You focusing on one thing and one thing alone. Honestly, this is great.
Like I'm up to like 60 hours in that game right now, and I realized they do that thing that is pretty cool where at a certain point, at least, well, before that point even, they let you take on the end game. Like you can just make your way to like the central area and take on the big boss. And they'll kind of tell you like, hey, you're not ready for this yet.
The number of times they'll be like, oh, what's going on up there? And the guy's like, are you fucking stupid? I keep telling you, they are level 50. You do not want to go
yo, you don't want none of this work, kid.
Yeah.
So I'm making my way around, like discovering all the things. And like, I kind of want to be done with the game only because of how much time it takes up when I'm playing it. But I'm still very much enjoying it. Like I'll find myself doing like a bunch of side shit, which I'm not certain, but it feels like after you go and explore other places, new stuff sorts of pops up in areas that you've been before. Like just like one little town somewhere will just all of a sudden be grayed out, and I'm like, I thought I did everything here. You go back and it's like another side quest that gives you like another unit, and like those side quests will have stories related to characters who are already in your party.
Yeah. It's I'm shocked you're spending this much time with it and not playing it handheld, because like I've been playing it a ton, but on Switch, and so like I know
I got it on Xbox.
I think that's a testament to how much
I was honestly hoping that it had like cloud whatever, because I was gonna just have it on my phone if I could, but it doesn't seem to have that functionality, which is a big ass mistake because that game definitely would work as a mobile thing.
Yeah, yeah. And it's good to see its sales are far outpacing Vanillaware's previous games. I think they said it hit
Yeah, so like 500.
500K. Yeah,
Yeah,
500K in
500,000
whatever a few
downloads or
weeks.
whatever.
Which is great for them. I feel like this could be a big hit if they just fucking port it to PC. I feel like PC like this. I don't know. It just seems
Yeah,
like
it's wild.
a,
Yeah, it's wild that they didn't do that.
yeah. Apparently, Vanillaware. Atlas said Vanillaware made the call on that because Atlas has been porting, a lot of Persona games and stuff to PC, and then Vanillaware was like, no, it was Atlas's call. So now I'm like, who do we believe?
Okay,
So both are blaming the other.
Yeah.
Aside from being gassed by Barry, I have a reason for why I could not remember what I played.
Did you have any Unicorn Overlord thoughts, or is it just Nick time now?
No, I did not have Unicorn Overlord.
Okay. So now
Are you intrigued about Unicorn Overlord at all?
No.
Like, you've seen it? Like, just nothing about it appeals to you?
No, because I know I'll just buy it and I'll never play it.
What if you try playing it though?
Yeah, what if you play it?
No, it'll stay in shrink wrap. It's fine.
Okay. Now it's Nick time. I'm excited. What's Nick time up
Okay.
to? Are you going to talk about Dragon's Dogma 2 and how it was game of the year after 20 hours, but then you sat on your opinion and it turns out the game's actually not really that good?
Well, you spoiled that. But no, I did something weird this week. And well, I do weird things every week, but this week I was extremely weird. And for some reason, I just really wanted to play a city builder game or an RTS.
Mm-hmm.
Just had the itch.
Oh, guess what? Unicorn Overlord is kind of an RTS.
Yeah, you build so many townships and whatnot.
Yeah, but not on a PC, so no.
That's true.
Touche.
So I in fact tried. I have to go through a list here. I tried They Are Billions. I tried The Settlers' New Allies. I tried Pioneers of Pagonia. I tried Age of Empires 4. I tried Total War 3 Kingdoms. I tried Songs of Conquest. And then I landed on Diplomacy is Not an Option and found one I actually really like.
Is it because diplomacy is not an option?
Oh, yeah. But no, that one's a very cool. So Diplomacy is not an option. We actually covered it back on The Escapist for a column that I think went viral. But essentially, it's almost like a game. It's almost like this game. They Are Billions, where you basically are building up a town or like a city, and then eventually you have to defend it from like thousands of invaders. And so like it's like physics based and everything. And so Eric's showing it on screen, but like you get like some god powers to fight these things and everything. But like there can be up to like 20,000 units on the screen at once, if not more. And basically, you just have to do the best you can to prepare for the invaders and make sure they don't get into your town. But you also have to like build up your city so that like people don't die of famine. You have to build up your city so they have enough like doctors and stuff like that, because the bodies, like anytime somebody dies, the body will just sit there and rot until somebody cleans it up, and then your whole city can get like sick if you don't take care of it. So it's it's a pretty damn fun game. Like what Eric's showing on screen there is like, you need to like fight off that many people. It's crazy. So it's a really good time actually if you it's very difficult, but if you like strategy games like tower defense kind of stuff, it's actually really fun. Plus city builder.
What's that new? I think it's a city builder by the team who did the Falconeer.
Bulwark. Yeah. I haven't gotten around to that one yet. That one is a much more. I think you talked about it before. Townscaper.
Yeah, I like that game.
Yeah, it's a lot like Townscaper, with a bit more strategy in part. But it's basically Bulwark is a much more laid back city building game where there's not like resources or anything like that. You basically just design to your heart's content, and then there's like some RTS elements in it.
Mm-hmm.
But
probably this wouldn't be a good Steam Deck game, probably, right?
No, actually, it is. He when he was showing it to me at GDC, it's very controller centric.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I don't want to use this mouse. I don't use this mouse.
Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, it's not about like pinpoint accuracy placing things down. It's more about like just creativity.
Yeah, it looks neat. I want to try it out.
Yeah, but the other one that kind of hooked me was this Songs of Conquest, which is from Coffee Stain Publishing. It's a lot like I guess it's got a lot of similarities to like Might and Magic, but you're basically like on a game board, and per turn like you go around doing kind of moving around the map, collecting like soldiers or coins or whatever, and then you go into turn-based combat, and it's kind of got like a little bit of like Fire Emblem in there too, where like you're talking with characters and diplomacy and all that kind of stuff. You might actually be interested in this one, Casey, if you gave this one a shot. Plus, the pixel art in it is incredible. I think it's one of the best looking pixel art games I've ever seen.
Have you ever heard of Unicorn Overlord?
I have. What's the other game they made?
Vanillaware?
Yeah.
Dragon's
13
Crown?
Sentinels, Aegis Rim,
Yeah,
Dragon's Crown.
The 15 Sentinels. That was the other
13 of them. God, if they make a sequel with 2 more
Added
Sentinels,
2 extra
holy
Sentinels.
shit.
Yeah,
Gonna be more naked
Heroes of Might
teenagers in
and
their robot cockpits. That wasn't a good thing to say.
Wait, they get
Yeah.
naked to get in the robots?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to get naked to get in your
Yes, he
robot.
really doesn't like that part.
Well,
And then the
yeah.
last game I've been playing a lot of is Halo Infinite's multiplayer, which they released a netcode update for, which really made the game feel so much better to play. Because like if you've played it before, before this netcode update, if you were trying to use a sniper, you were trying to use the skewer or anything like that, it was kind of really hard to hit things a lot of times. Felt like you were always like missing your shots because it was either behind or too far ahead.
Skill issue.
Yeah, no, not really. It was a netcode issue. Now everything hits like it's supposed to, and it feels great.
All right.
So I've probably put in like 15 hours into Halo Infinite over the last 2 weeks.
Shoot. That's a good bird. Are they? Does it feel like Halo's here for the long haul, or like what? Like, can you feel like a heartbeat? Like,
yeah, I mean
strong?
the community's really happy with Halo Infinite right now.
That's good.
What's the MAU looking for Halo these days?
I don't. It's
For those of us who don't know, no, for those people in the audience who don't know what an MAU is, I definitely know what it is. I'm not one of those idiots. But what's an MAU?
They're monthly active users.
Oh, yeah, we all knew that.
Yeah, its players on Steam charts is only like 5,000, but I think most people are playing it through Game Pass.
Yeah, that's Halo is traditionally a console game.
So I don't know. I would say it's probably like 15 to 20,000 daily. Definitely not peak Halo. I don't know what they're gonna do with Halo. Like, I mean, they're developing something new. They've been putting out the job postings for it. My gut is telling me that Halo Infinite's gonna remain like the free to play multiplayer segment, and they're just gonna keep building on that. Because like, why invest all that time and money into this if you're just gonna ship it off later? Or I don't know enough about engines to know how much they can bring over from Halo Infinite to whatever they do next. But I imagine like the campaigns will be on Unreal Engine 5, like the rumors have been, and then the Halo Infinite is just the multiplayer portion going forward. But
would that not also come to Unreal Engine 5? You think?
I don't know. That's why I'm not really sure. Part of me thinks maybe they're gonna let Halo Infinite, just dwindle out as they get ready for the new one, because they already did say like they're moving to those operations, which are smaller content updates rather than the big content updates that were planned. So I think they're slowly like divesting from it, but keeping it supported.
If they want to
if
export
they want
all their stuff to the next project, they should use. I go to this website called easygif.com, and if I ever download a WebP or like a weird file, you can easily turn it into a JPEG. So they should put their game into that.
just put Halo Infinite into the I love. Just put Halo Infinite into the I love PDF thing we use.
Yeah. So yeah, go for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just said my gut feels one way, but my gut feels the other way. That if they want Halo to be exciting again, you better just move on and just take what you learned from this and build something new and exciting. That's good.
They called it Infinite, though.
Can't call it Infinite.
You can't.
What are we doing? We can't call it Infinite.
I don't think you'll ever see anybody use the word Infinite in a game title again after multiple Infinite failures.
What about Infinity? Nope, Disney can't do that either.
BioShock Infinite wasn't bad.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Well, no, actually, it was the last BioShock though.
Yeah, it was the last BioShock.
I mean, there's another one coming out in theory that has gotten rebooted several times. A couple super chats that came in. Quintuple A with the $2 dono. Unicorn Overlord Gang, Rise Up. Hell yeah. Great game. Also, there's a ton of fans. So how come no one's talking about the boobs and the butts in that game?
Oh,
Plenty of
because it's
boobs
way
and butts
toned
there.
down. Like I have honestly been surprised at the level of restraint.
Compared to like Dragon's Crown, which was like
Right, and in 13 Sentinels, I didn't even realize that they got naked to get in the
it's
robots.
tasteful nudes. You don't see the. It's like an Ava. It makes sense. The LCL and whatnot.
Yeah, but that's their thing. Vanillaware was kind of known to be like kind of gratuitous in terms of like their art, but like Kamatani, like that's what he draws. Like let the man be him, right? I don't want to censor his artwork. But he has like a lot of the character models, like they're all like good looking anime characters, but the level of like jiggle physics and stuff has been far more restrained than I would have suspected. So growth.
Yeah. Question mark. Fungus Finder with a $2 dono. Dog flatulence causes temporary illiteracy in Nick. That was like the equivalent. I've never seen like a lot of RPGs have like a confuse status effect where it's like, oh god, now my party member is going to start attacking my own dudes. Like I've never seen that was like a confused status effect in real life.
It literally, I mean, I could see it over the top of my head.
Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, was it purple? Was that the color you would associate with it? What's the color?
That's poison gas. Yeah.
If you had to associate,
it could be green or purple. Yeah.
That was like purple level. Green is just nasty. Purple was like death, and that was death.
There you go. Underscore with $2 Canadian. Thank you so much. Hey, Jackpot, welcome home. In illness, your bear.
Huh?
Casey,
was that an AI? Was that an AI post?
I don't know what that is. What happened? Is everyone okay?
Is
welcome home
code?
is a Coheed and Cambria.
Did Barry's fart get to you?
That was the first thing I thought of when I saw Welcome Home.
Yeah, but nothing else like connects with
is
that.
The rest of it Coheed?
This must no, none of the rest of this is Coheed. This has to be a code, and now I'm gonna be obsessed with it.
Is this like in the Manchurian Candidate? You like this is a trigger sentence to have someone kill the president? Or like
this wasn't this super chat was not for us.
We should not have said no. But
this is for someone.
Oh no, the
audience.
Winter Soldier's been activated. Over on Ko-Fi, John Blee, thank you so much for the donation. Greed money for the greed jar. Greed gods.
We're not greedy. We released our financials.
Still greedy.
No.
We just want more. We want more. Like a little Smeagol.
We do want more, but I don't think we're greedy.
And we had people quit the Patreon because we didn't put up a video for 1 week.
We need more.
Yeah. Who's greedy now?
That one person was very upset that it kept getting re-added to Discord. Like all the Discord cops on me. I'm like, what the fuck? It was like that one 50-cent video where he's like, Nelly said, fuck 50, fuck T.I. And I was like, what did they say fuck me for? That's how I felt when I got that DM. I'm like, why are you mad at me?
Yeah, like, why are you messaging me?
Some of the Patreon exits we get are kind of funny. Like there was one that was like, there's too much frost. I'm leaving. Yeah. Okay. There was one I got today that somebody.
What did Frost do to that man?
I don't know.
Frost is like very nice, and I feel
somebody
like very normal amounts of things.
Somebody today dropped from the $25 to the $10 tier, and they said we took them out of the credits. So they're like, now you get 0. And I'm like, how we can't, like, the CSV pulls everybody that's in the $10, $25, and $50 tiers.
Did they just not see their name in the credits?
I think they just didn't see their name in the credits.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of credits.
Yeah, there are a lot of credits.
Yeah, there's a ton of credits.
There might be extra people in there.
They took it very personally though that they couldn't find the name.
Fungus Finder with a $2 dono. Mao is the sound a cat makes in Egypt. Mao. That's nice. I like that animals make different noises in different countries.
I was kind of hoping they're going to say Mao for Maui.
Like the Hawaiian island?
Yeah.
Shouts to Hawaii. Second Hawaii drop of the show. And Fungus Finder with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. The Learn to Fly music video contains Tenacious D.
Tenacious D's no.
Is it a Tenacious D music video?
Is that part of the underscore thing? Is that Hey Jackpot, welcome home in illness? You guys keep giving money for things we don't understand.
Yeah, like what is happening?
What's going on. And Quintuple just donated $4.20 and it's got 7 thumbs up.
I think the Barry fart went through. I think some of these people have like Game Sense.
Several weeks.
I think some of these people have Game Scent review units and
what
just
is
smell
happening?
Barry's fart.
I have no idea. Oh, I have a cat face.
That still doesn't explain what's happening.
That doesn't explain
like
several
these are two
things in a row.
separate phenomena.
That was yeah.
Doesn't explain many things in a row. Incredible. Couple things I've been playing. Pepper Grinder. I give it a seal of approval. I believe Yahtzee and Frost streamed it earlier. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was that person who stopped donating because I said Frost isn't too much stuff, so I didn't watch it. Pepper Grinder is very neat. It's a nice throwback. It feels a little bit like Yoshi's Island, a little bit like your Donkey Kong countries. The main mechanic is that you have this drill and you kind of dirt dolphin your way through levels. I think it is delightful. I think it rolls out interesting ideas at like a nice tick, but it just doesn't ever, after its initial conceit with the drill, it doesn't ever like kind of wow you with something in the way that recently I've been playing the Donkey Kong Country like Returns and Tropical Freeze games, and then even last year with like Mario Wonder. Like they have these moments of like wonder, almost like these moments of like, holy shit, what an incredible idea, and I just never get that thing. So it's like Pepper Grinder doesn't do anything wrong, but it just never quite hits that thing to like next level it in my opinion. Really good. Highly recommend it. If it looks like the kind of game you'd enjoy, you probably will. But yeah, it just doesn't sort of have whatever that sort of je ne sais quoi thing is.
Is it a Metroidvania or just a straight out like platformer?
Just levels. Yeah,
Good.
just levels.
Maybe
little world map. Yeah, stores on the world map that you can spend coins to.
I'm tired of every indie platformer being a Metroidvania.
Just levels. Like it's levels to where you can go through quickly, or you can kind of take your time and find collectibles and secret areas and stuff. But yeah, just straight up levels.
But you like the Tales of Iron, which you had me play earlier this week.
It's not a Metroidvania? It's a very Metroidvania light. It's pretty linear. I don't know how far you made. I left the stream.
I did 2 hours.
There's
so
too
that's
much
how far I made it.
There was too much KC, I believe.
Yeah, that game was a little on the bland side. But what you were saying to Marty was about the kind of like the Pepper Grinder not kicking it up a notch as it was progressing through levels. Like that reminded me of like I tried what is Penny's Big Breakaway? Not too long ago. And that felt very similar in how like, I like what they're going for here, but like the yo-yo mechanics just like they weren't used in a way that felt like I'm getting like better at the navigation.
I was frustrated with that game in like the first 30 minutes. The things that chase you just annoyed the hell out of me.
Oh, little penguins?
Yeah.
I actually thought I kind of like that. I think those things are interesting, and like that to me is an interesting mechanic to where in this chunk of the level you need to keep running because these things are gonna fucking dogpile you and kill you. Like I can understand though if you just want to explore, being like these fucking things just won't leave me alone.
Well, like it's a game I wanted to enjoy. I don't know, like the character felt too floaty or too light to me.
Yeah, like you don't have control over the camera either, which I found annoying in a lot of sections. Yeah, it's a game I really wanted to like. And it just didn't get there for me. So that's kind of disappointing for you the way you just described Pepper Grinder, because I was thinking of trying that out too.
Yeah,
but it feels like it might be a similar thing.
Yeah, it's worth playing for a little bit, if only to be like, this is interesting. Like it's an interesting way to kind of rethink movement in a 2D game, to where like games have had like digging mechanics before, but like having that be sort of the core mechanic of it, I think is very interesting. So
it's sort of like what would be the opposite of a grappling hook? Because it's like like the hook itself is moving you through things as opposed to you moving to the thing it connects to.
Oh yeah.
The opposite of a grappling hook? That would just be falling.
We need more. No, we need to come up with more opposite of things that are extremely specific.
I guess it's just a drill, because like the game was functioning like
opposite of a grappling hook is a drill.
It's a drill, yeah, a Pepper Grinder drill. Think about it, Nick.
Yeah,
I don't wanna.
That's what Pepper Grinder taught us. And John Lee with the $2 dono. Thank you so much. You guys know I jest toned down the game dull though. I also don't know what game dull is.
What are these super chats today?
What is happening? Do I have like the wrong language on?
Like on what did they put in my coffee this morning?
I have not understood several in a row.
Yeah.
It's Eric. It's Eric doing things in the background. Oh, it's game dull is the game Yahtzee plays.
We're not Yahtzee. What are we talking about? Is that just Wordle?
This
What
is
is game
John
lore?
Blay's way of saying there's too much Yahtzee because he can't say there's too much
Oh,
frogs.
TMY. Well, you guys are
Oh,
fucking
no.
in for a treat on Friday for secret
Yeah.
streams. Oh yeah, and then also Shogun, which is just delightful. Let me tell you guys, if you're not watching Shogun, you're fucking dead to me.
I can't wait until the season's done because I'm gonna grind
It's soon.
the hell out of that.
Episode
Wait, how
7
many-
was this week, and there's 10, so it'll be done in 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
No, there's only 9 episodes.
Is that true?
Actually, no, there's only 8 episodes.
That can't be true. I'm pretty sure it's 10.
Huh.
I might be wrong. I've
I'm
been
trying to
wrong.
figure out when I could start so that I don't have to wait.
Wikipedia. I'm gonna Wikipedia Shogun. I'm here. 24 miniseries.
Oh, I guess it's 10.
10. Yeah. So one could say, you fucking goofed, Nick. That's what one could say.
Well, you think the opposite of a grappling hook is a drill.
It is,
AC said I didn't say anything.
but it is. Chad
I just
understood
thought
me.
it was-
They're speaking
I
all
thought it
sorts of
was-
nonsense right alongside me.
I thought it was. I just thought it was thought provoking.
Look, sometimes people just agree with the nonsense you say so that you shut up. I would.
I
know.
do that. Yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah, you're right.
Every relationship I've ever been in, they've said that. What do I have to say to get you to shut up quickest? And Fungus Finder with a $2 dono. Did someone say Doril? My drill is. Is that a Gurren Lagann thing?
It's a Gurren Lagann reference. Yep. See that I
Boom.
understood. That's just weep shit. Thank you. for
I thought that was
We're
a
getting this
Dory
back on track.
reference.
Dory from Finding Dory? Do you know Sigourney Weaver was a
No,
voice
nobody
in
likes
Dory?
that Dory. The only real Dory is the one in Adventurers Nigh. Also, it's Dora. Or Finding Dory.
No, you're
Oh,
thinking
who's
Dora
Dora?
the Explorer.
I don't
Nick.
Doril the Explorer.
Don't come at me
with her
your
drill
knowledge
instead
and
of grappling
know
hook.
me about my Pixar's and my Shogun episode counts.
Sure. Until I can
Lauren
find
with
it.
a $2 dono. Hot Monday energy is bleeding over again. Is that what's happening with all these weird things? Is that what all these weird messages?
This is
I
weird
guess everyone has
Wednesday
their own
energy.
definition of hot Monday energy.
I guess that
This
is true.
This is weird Wednesday.
This is Weird Wednesday. That used to be a thing in my local Alamo Draft House movie theater. They'd have Terror Tuesdays and Weird Wednesdays, and they'd show a cheap old horror movie for Tuesdays and a weird old movie for Wednesdays. Delightful. Great chips and queso. I bet you didn't go there in San Francisco, did you, Nick? I was going to say it doesn't smell like shit there, but Mission Street absolutely smells like shit. 100%. Blue
Listen,
McDee's
when we were in San Francisco, we went out to a nice dinner. We came out of that nice dinner, and then some woman like flashed us with her ass in the street. So that's my experience of San Francisco.
You know what?
Was it a nice
some,
ass though?
No,
some
All
of
right,
us,
then.
some of us empathize with those who are not as fortunate as us.
she wasn't homeless.
Donors. You don't know that. Did you go back to her house?
No, thankfully.
No, how'd you know she was homeless? You gonna say, "Man, what's your
She
address?"
was like with people, like going to a restaurant.
Yeah, homeless.
She's just drunk off her ass.
So she was just a hooligan, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Blue McTee's Nuts at the $2 dono. Thank you so much. Y'all talk of content warning yet? We did. Go back probably a little over an hour.
This
And then
stream
number
is a
of
content
cards
warning.
in RDI.
Red Dragon
How
Inn.
many- in Red Dragon in our Red Dragon Inn?
Ooh, I don't know. There's a lot.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
I don't
five.
know
There's
the
five
answer.
characters, right? Because it's 4 of you and
Moped.
Moped, and then there's just a shit ton of regular cards, right? Like game cards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
The
don't
box they gave us had like a lot. So,
Yeah.
whatever a deck of RDI is probably the same amount of cards. It's a full deck.
Yeah, it's a standalone game, so it's probably the
Yeah.
same number as like if you were to buy the base game, just whatever would come into that, right? I don't know. I
maybe.
don't know the answer.
It's
Yeah, I don't
700. It's 700, and if you get fewer than 700 cards, Nick will give you the money back.
No. Eric, void Marty.
Can't do that. Tsunami Doucher, $20 dono.
Ooh,
You
thank
guys
you.
rock. Hope the rest of the week is pleasant. That is a delightful message, Tsunami Doucher. That is
thank you
one
so
that
much.
I understood the beginning of the sentence. I understood the end of the sentence. It was wonderful.
It was easy to read because it was orange.
Yeah, it was incredible. Not the same can't be said for True Mando's $2 donation, which says 21, 42, 67, Red Wing suck, go Avs
And-
go, hut hike.
Put user timeout.
Okay, that activated Nick, that code.
Oh no. Good. Tree with a $5 dono. First donation on the platform. Thank you so much, Tree.
Welcome.
I hear it's amazing when the famous purple stuffed worm in Flapjaw space with the tuning fork does a raw blink on Hiri Kiri Rock. I need scissors 61.
Okay, now we're back in the doldrums.
No, I believe that is. Let me look it up before I commit to it. That
makes sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense to both of us, actually. The Colonel says it at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2 when he's going nuts.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, it is understandable that you didn't remember that because it's very specific. But that's good, Tree. Thank you, Tree.
That just means replay games too many times.
I play a lot of.
Yeah, Tree. Did you remember that like from memory?
You know what they say? A lot of rings in that tree. A lot of rings in that tree.
Because wow.
Did you know if you cut a tree, you could tell how old it is by its rings?
I've heard that. I don't know if that's propaganda or not.
It seems like it might be a myth.
Like the paper industry started spreading that rumor to get people to cut down more trees.
We're there, they're shitting the paper. And then Quintuple A with the $2 dono. Thank you so much. Next, QTR, can we get a vid collection of Eric goofs? What's a QTR? Quarter. Next quarter.
Next
can
quarter.
We get quarter? Top 10 Eric goofs. Make a bunch of clips. Make a bunch of clips. And we'll put them together. I don't know. Maybe. Probably not. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
There's a chance.
Maybe it's a good answer for that.
Eric, would it be weird if you
put
together a thing of all of your own goofs?
maybe he's like the best answer for anything ever. It's complete non-committal. Like, yeah, are you gonna wake up for work tomorrow? Maybe.
No, you should probably do that. Like, you kind of need to do that.
Maybe.
Also, you know what's crazy?
There's no response to maybe. Like, what can you say to somebody saying maybe?
Like, to the specific question of will you wake up for work, you could say you're fired.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't think that works.
We were talking about
you had to think about it.
Code name. We were talking about the code phrase for Winter Soldier today. 10th anniversary of Winter Soldier's release. A big old HBD.
Wow.
Also,
nice.
This week is the 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy VI in Japan. So HBD to that as well.
No celebration for Square Enix.
You're so weird, Nick. You just keep saying maybe. They sent a tweet out. No, their celebration. Their celebration was literally a tweet. They're like, great. Well,
I mean, that's better. That's better than what I would have thought. Which was
honestly like a lot. That's better than Nintendo when it's like Metroid has an anniversary. And they're like, who? What? We added a new profile pic to the Wii U eShop. Also, the Wii U eShop is now closed.
Metroid Prime 4 ever coming? Maybe.
That's a big maybe. Big maybe there. As we wrap things up, Nick, what do you got going on? What should folks check out?
Frost, J-May, maybe Casey and I will be back tomorrow for Helldivers 2, since they've added a bunch of new stuff into the game, like flying bugs that I haven't played against yet. And also invisible ghost ships and sandstorms and blizzards. And then Friday, Frost and I will continue. Well, we should be able to wrap up the first Call of Duty on Friday. And then I will also have an Unpacked video on Friday. And then for those of you waiting for more Adventures Nice stuff, the Season 3 Q&A that was never released back at The Escapist will be going up for the first time this Saturday.
Ooh.
And then the week after that, you get the Adventures Night documentary that never released back on The Escapist.
And then the week after that?
Wait.
And then the week after that, maybe you get something else. I don't know. Non-committal to anything.
Maybe. Casey.
Yes. What is going on the rest of this week? Today is Wednesday, so more Devil May Cry. Tomorrow, Nick literally just mentioned the shoot the shit thing, so I have to see if I can show up for that tomorrow.
He's a maybe.
But we'll see. Yeah, that one's a definite maybe. Wedding streams are back on. I mentioned at some point, I don't remember where that was. I think the end of Hidden Gems. That we did the engagement photos that you guys had us dressing costumes for. I don't have them back yet, but they're gonna be fire. Like I've seen like on the little screen, they're gonna come back Whew, I can't wait. I can't wait till they're finished getting edited.
Hell yeah.
But we're gonna be starting what do you call it? Baba Is You this coming Friday. So check that out.
Maybe.
In terms of my weekly podcast and Super Smash Sunday, I should have episodes this coming Sunday, so tune in. But I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm not working on any videos as of right now because I'm still grinding away on AIN stuff. So more on that at some point.
Ein. How come we don't call it Ein like the dog in
Because of the inevitable confusion between that and Cowboy Bebop. Because
we do talk about the Cowboy Bebop dog very often.
It's too close to German when I say nine. You don't like that because it sounds like Hitler.
You in particular sound like Hitler when you say that. No one else does, just you.
Yeah. We get that you watch Band of Brothers, but you don't need to start perfecting the fucking Titan 5 Hitler routine.
He wasn't in that. It's whatever. It's Inglourious Bastards.
So what are you defending Hitler now? You're saying he didn't have anything to do with it?
Nine. No.
And then Blue McTee's Nuts with a $2 dono. Whose eyes are those? And then Blue McTee's Nuts follows it up with a $5 dono. Whose eyes are those? 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 Whose eyes are those?
Thank you.
Maybe.
Is that a cryptid?
Eric put the laser eyes on me again. You made me into the Septinic.
Incredible. This is a great audio podcast for the thousands of people who listen. It's just like, will these motherfuckers just leave? So tomorrow the two streams, Shoot the Shit at 3, and then Devil May Cry at 7. And then TBD, there should be, if you like your Yahtzees and your Jacks doing interesting streams unlike those we've seen before here, maybe at Friday at noon it's going to happen because we're still waiting. We still don't know for sure if I think it's going to happen. Friday at noon, Jack and Yahtzee might stream with something a little bit different. And then, like Nick said, Call of Duty. And then I think the streams are back on this weekend, so should be Better With Friends and newly released. And then you can follow me on my personal Twitch channel as well, where I started The Last of Us Part 2 last night. Feel Good Game of 2020 is back, folks, and let me tell you, great opening 2.5 hours. Great opening 2.5 hours.
Did you play part 1 first?
I played part 1 a few months ago. Yeah.
No, you got to play them like back to back.
I actually don't. I own both games, and I'm legally allowed to play them however the fuck I want. Nick, telling me, trying to mansplain replaying games to me, Johnny Head Injury.
Yeah, if anyone knows the rules of replaying games, it's fucking Marty.
Speaking of head injuries, Sean Harriman asked what happened to Bully. I had a migraine on Tuesday. I'll be back next Tuesday with more Bully.
Over you little,
and then I'll bully you.
Scallion.
Why would I be hungover when I drink on Saturday and not Sunday?
Also, it was a Tuesday. What?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing.
Why would I be hungover then?
Marty's head injury has
once
transferred
again,
over
we published our quarterly financials, so you can check those out on Discord. Nick probably tweeted them out. There's somewhere on Patreon, so go look at that and see the money we made, the money we spent, where it's going to, and all those goodies. So for Nick, for Casey, for Eric, and for Stone Cold Steve Austin's return at WrestleMania this Sunday evening during the main event of Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, where Cody Rhodes will win the title and finish the story. Thank you all so much for joining us for Firelink episode number 16. Wonderful to see you all. Have an excellent rest of the evening, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
I'm very disappointed this doesn't exist around me. I keep looking out, but it's not there.
Bye.
Fungus Finder, $2 says, Nick, I posted a picture of deer in sponsor free.
What? Are we still live?
Unfortunately.
I'm just leaving the call. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
What on earth?